Welcome to our series exploring the enigmatic realm of unexplained deaths and mysteries. Join us as we delve into perplexing cases that defy conventional understanding, where each clue raises more questions. The fate of the Lost Colony of Roanoke is one of the most enduring mysteries in American history. In 1587, an expedition of 115 English settlers, led by Governor John White, established a colony on Roanoke Island, which is located off the coast of present-day North Carolina. This settlement was intended to be England's first permanent colony in the New World. However, shortly after its founding, White returned to England to gather more supplies. His return was delayed for 3 years due to the Anglo-Spanish War and other unforeseen circumstances. When White finally returned to Roanoke in 1590, he found the colony completely abandoned. The houses were dismantled, and there were no signs of a struggle or violence, but all the settlers had vanished. The only clue left behind was the word Croatoan carved into a post and the letters Crow etched into a nearby tree. Croatoan was the name of a nearby island now known as Hatteras Island, and also referred to a Native American tribe that lived in the region. Despite extensive searches, there was no trace of the colonists, including White's daughter and granddaughter, Virginia Dare, who was the first English child born in the Americas. Over the centuries, numerous theories have been proposed to explain the disappearance of the Roanoke settlers. One of the most widely accepted theories suggests that the colonists, facing dire conditions, sought refuge with nearby Native American tribes, possibly integrating with the Croatoan people. This theory is supported by oral histories from some Native American groups and the discovery of English artifacts on Hatteras Island. Another possibility is that the colonists were killed by hostile native tribes or Spanish forces, though no definitive evidence has been found to support this idea. Other theories suggest that the settlers relocated to another area, such as the Chesapeake Bay region, in an attempt to survive, or that they succumbed to starvation, disease, or environmental hardships. Despite archaeological efforts that have uncovered intriguing clues, including English artifacts in the Chesapeake area and on Hatteras Island, a conclusive answer to the mystery of what happened to the lost colony remains elusive. The Roanoke disappearance continues to captivate historians, archaeologists, and enthusiasts, leaving the fate of the settlers shrouded in mystery.
Dark matter is an invisible form of matter that doesn't emit, absorb, or reflect light, making it impossible to observe directly. Its existence is inferred through its gravitational effects on visible objects. For instance, when scientists study the way galaxies rotate, they observe that the outer stars in galaxies move much faster than they should based on the amount of visible matter alone. This suggests that there's an unseen mass providing additional gravitational pull, which we now call dark matter. Similarly, dark matter can bend light from distant objects, a phenomenon known as gravitational lensing, further proving its existence. While the exact nature of dark matter is unknown, scientists propose that it could consist of theoretical particles such as WIMPs, or weakly interacting massive particles, or axions. Dark matter plays a crucial role in the structure of the universe, accounting for about 27% of it, and acting as the scaffolding that holds galaxies and galaxy clusters together. Dark energy, on the other hand, is even more mysterious. It's a form of energy that makes up about 68% of the universe, and is responsible for its accelerated expansion. In the 1990s, astronomers studying distant supernovae made the surprising discovery that the universe's expansion wasn't slowing down as expected, but instead speeding up. This observation led to the hypothesis of dark energy, a force that opposes gravity and pushes space apart. The cosmic microwave background, the afterglow of the Big Bang, also shows evidence of dark energy, helping explain the overall flat geometry of the universe. While the exact nature of dark energy is unclear, one popular theory is the cosmological constant, which represents a constant energy density filling space. Other possibilities include quintessence, a dynamic field that changes over time, or more radical ideas involving modifications to our understanding of gravity. Dark matter and dark energy are fundamentally different. Dark matter exerts a gravitational pull, helping form galaxies and cosmic structures, while dark energy has the opposite effect, driving the accelerated expansion of space. Combined, these two components make up 95% of the universe, with dark energy being the dominant force. The interplay between dark matter, dark energy, and regular matter shapes the evolution and eventual fate of the cosmos, potentially leading to scenarios like a big rip or heat death as the universe continues to expand. Current research into both dark matter and dark energy includes efforts such as experiments at the Large Hadron Collider, where scientists are trying to detect potential dark matter particles, and new space missions like the Euclid spacecraft and the James Webb Space Telescope, which aim to observe the effects of dark energy on cosmic expansion. Direct detection experiments such as Xenon 1T and Lux Zeppelin are also attempting to capture evidence of dark matter particles on Earth. Despite these efforts, dark matter and dark energy remain two of the greatest mysteries in modern physics, and unlocking their secrets is essential for understanding the true nature of the universe. The construction of the ancient Egyptian pyramids, particularly the Great Pyramids of Giza, remains one of history's most remarkable engineering feats. Despite ongoing debate about the exact methods used, many scholars agree on certain key techniques and principles that likely played a role in their construction. Central to the process was the Egyptians' knowledge of geometry, astronomy, and architecture, which enabled them to design these massive structures with precision and stability. The construction required not only sophisticated engineering, but also a vast coordinated workforce, including skilled laborers, engineers, and craftsmen. One widely accepted theory is that the Egyptians used large limestone and granite blocks to build the pyramids, many of which weighed several tons. These blocks were quarried locally or brought from distant sites, such as Aswan, using the Nile River for transportation. To move these massive stones, it is believed that workers used sledges and ramps. Some evidence suggests that the Egyptians may have wetted the sand in front of the sledges to reduce friction, making it easier to pull the stones across the desert. A series of ramps, either straight, zigzagging, or spiraled around the structure, might have been used to lift the blocks into place as the pyramid grew taller. These ramps could have been made from mud brick, limestone chippings, or gypsum. Precision was critical to the construction of the pyramids. The Egyptians had a deep understanding of alignment and leveling, which allowed them to orient the pyramids almost perfectly to the cardinal points of the compass. They likely used tools like plumb bobs, levels, and sighting instruments to ensure the correct angles and smooth surfaces. For instance, the sides of the Great Pyramid of Giza are aligned to within a fraction of a degree of true north. This alignment, along with the precise stacking of millions of blocks, suggests an extraordinary degree of planning and knowledge. The workforce responsible for pyramid construction was highly organized, with evidence suggesting that laborers were divided into specialized teams. Contrary to earlier beliefs that the pyramids were built by slaves, modern archaeological discoveries indicate that the workers were skilled laborers who were well fed and provided with accommodations. Recent excavations have uncovered workers' villages near the pyramid sites, showing evidence of a well-maintained workforce, including medical care and provisions for daily needs. In addition to ramps and tools, the Egyptians employed innovative construction techniques to ensure the stability and longevity of the pyramids. Inside the pyramids, they built intricate networks of chambers and passageways. To relieve the pressure from the massive weight above, they used corbelled ceilings and stacked layers of stone beams to distribute the load away from the inner chambers, such as the burial chambers. The use of large, carefully placed granite blocks within the interior also helped protect the inner structures from collapse. While many details about the construction methods remain speculative, the combination of advanced geometry, skilled labor, and a highly organized workforce allowed the Egyptians to build the pyramids with remarkable precision and durability. These monumental structures, which have stood for over 4,500 years, continue to fascinate and inspire awe for their architectural sophistication and the ingenuity of ancient Egyptian engineering. The Oak Island Money Pit is one of the most enduring mysteries in the world of treasure hunting, drawing curiosity and speculation for over 2 centuries. Located on Oak Island, off the coast of Nova Scotia, Canada, the Money Pit is believed to be the site of a hidden treasure, possibly buried by pirates, the Knights Templar, or other secretive groups. The legend began in 1795, when a teenager named Daniel McGuinness, along with 2 friends, discovered a circular depression in the ground on the island. Believing it could be a treasure site, they began digging and found a layer of flagstones and evidence of wooden platforms every 10 feet, fueling rumors that a great treasure lay buried deep below. As more explorers joined the search, the dig site became increasingly elaborate, but it also revealed a series of baffling engineering challenges. One of the most frustrating aspects of the Money Pit is that it appears to be booby-trapped. After digging to a depth of about 90 feet, treasure hunters encountered a flood tunnel system that seemingly allowed seawater to fill the pit, preventing further excavation. Despite numerous attempts to block or divert the water, the pit continued to flood, stymieing efforts to reach the supposed treasure. This has led to theories that the pit was designed as an elaborate trap to keep intruders away from whatever lies at its bottom. Over the years, many treasure hunters, companies, and even famous figures have tried their luck at uncovering the secrets of the Oak Island Money Pit. In the mid-19th century, the Onslow Company launched one of the most serious efforts to reach the bottom of the pit, but like others before them, they were thwarted by the flooding. In 1861, another team reached what they believed was a vault, only for the pit to flood again. Efforts to pump out the water or drill into the pit were similarly unsuccessful, though some reported finding tantalizing clues, such as fragments of chain, metal pieces, and even parchment with strange markings. However, no definitive treasure has ever been uncovered. Over time, the legend of Oak Island has grown, with various theories emerging about what might be buried there. Some believe it could be pirate treasure, possibly left by Captain Kidd or Blackbeard. Others suggest that the pit might contain the lost jewels of Marie Antoinette, valuable religious artifacts, or even documents from the fabled Knights Templar. Some researchers have even proposed the idea that the pit contains Shakespearean manuscripts or other historical documents of immense value. These speculations, combined with the complex nature of the site, have kept interest in Oak Island alive for generations. In recent years, the search for the Oak Island treasure has gained new life, thanks in part to modern technology and a popular television show, The Curse of Oak Island, which has chronicled the ongoing exploration efforts. Treasure hunters have used advanced techniques, such as sonar ground-penetrating radar and more sophisticated excavation methods, to explore the Money Pit and other areas of the island. Despite these modern advancements, no conclusive treasure has been found, though the discovery of old coins, tools, and other artifacts continues to fuel hopes that the island's ultimate secret is yet to be revealed. The Oak Island Money Pit remains a mystery, with more questions than answers. Whether the pit contains a vast treasure or is simply a product of natural formations and human ingenuity, its allure persists. What keeps the legend alive is the tantalizing possibility that somewhere beneath the surface of Oak Island lies a great historical or monetary prize, waiting to be discovered. Until the mystery is solved, the Money Pit will continue to captivate treasure hunters and enthusiasts from around the world. The Mothman is a mysterious creature reported to have been sighted in the 1960s in the small town of Point Pleasant, West Virginia, and has since become one of the most famous figures in American folklore. Described as a large winged humanoid with glowing red eyes, the Mothman allegedly appeared multiple times in the area between November 1966 and December 1967. The first recorded sighting occurred on November 15, 1966, when 2 young couples were driving near an abandoned munitions plant known as the TNT area on the outskirts of Point Pleasant. They reported seeing a creature with a wingspan of 10 feet, flying alongside their car at high speeds. The witnesses were so disturbed by the experience that they went to the local police, and their story made the news, sparking a wave of curiosity and fear. Over the next year, more than 100 people reported similar encounters with the Mothman. The creature was usually described as being between 6 and 7 feet tall, with large wings and hypnotic glowing red eyes. Witnesses claimed that it could fly at incredible speeds and was sometimes accompanied by a high-pitched screech. Many of the sightings took place in the TNT area, a former World War II weapons facility that had fallen into disrepair. The eerie, isolated landscape seemed to lend itself to these strange encounters. Some reports also described unexplained electrical malfunctions and strange, unsettling feelings experienced in the creature's presence. The Mothman sightings took on a more ominous tone in December 1967, when the Silver Bridge, which connected Point Pleasant to Ohio, suddenly collapsed, killing 46 people. The tragedy shocked the community, and in the aftermath, many locals began to associate the Mothman with the disaster, viewing the creature as a harbinger of doom or a warning of the impending catastrophe. Some witnesses claimed to have seen the Mothman near the bridge just before it collapsed, further cementing the creature's reputation as a supernatural being tied to tragic events. Following the Silver Bridge collapse, the Mothman sightings largely ceased, but the legend continued to grow. In the years since, various theories have emerged to explain the Mothman phenomenon. Some believe the creature was a previously unknown species of animal, possibly a large bird or bat, whose unusual appearance triggered exaggerated reports. Others suggest it may have been an alien or an interdimensional being, citing UFO sightings and other strange occurrences in the area around the same time. Still, others believe the Mothman is connected to ancient folklore, pointing to stories of similar winged creatures from Native American legends and other cultures around the world. One of the most influential accounts of the Mothman story came in 1975, when author John Keel published The Mothman Prophecies, a book that linked the sightings to broader paranormal phenomena, including UFOs and government conspiracies. Keel's work suggested that the Mothman might be part of a larger pattern of unexplained events, including sightings of strange lights, men in black, and psychic experiences in Point Pleasant. His book was later adapted into a 2002 film of the same name, which helped bring the Mothman legend to an even wider audience. Today, the Mothman is a beloved figure in Point Pleasant, where the town has embraced its paranormal history. Each year, the town hosts the Mothman Festival, attracting thousands of visitors who come to celebrate the creature with music, talks, and other events. A Mothman museum has also been established, and a large metallic statue of the creature stands in the center of town, serving as a popular tourist attraction. Over the years, sporadic Mothman sightings have been reported in other parts of the world, most notably in Chernobyl, before the nuclear disaster in 1986, and in Chicago in recent years. These reports suggest that the legend of the Mothman is far from over, as people continue to connect the creature to ominous, unexplained events. Whether it's a cryptid, a paranormal entity, or a psychological phenomenon, the Mothman remains one of the most intriguing and enduring mysteries of modern folklore. The Nazca Lines are a collection of enormous geoglyphs etched into the desert plains of southern Peru, and their origins have fascinated researchers for decades. Created by the Nazca civilization between 500 BCE and 500 CE, these lines consist of hundreds of individual figures, including geometric shapes, straight lines, spirals, and intricate depictions of animals such as birds, monkeys, fish, and even humanoid figures. These massive drawings span miles across the arid landscape and are best appreciated from the air, which adds to the mystery surrounding their creation. How could an ancient culture without aerial technology have designed and executed such precise, large-scale drawings? The Nazca civilization, which thrived in the region during this period, is believed to have developed sophisticated agricultural and engineering practices to survive in the harsh desert climate. Their society is known for its pottery and textiles, but the Nazca Lines stand as their most extraordinary achievement. The lines were created by removing the reddish-brown iron oxide-coated stones that cover the desert surface, exposing the lighter-colored earth beneath. The dry, windless climate of the Nazca Desert has preserved these designs for over 1,500 years, keeping them remarkably intact. The purpose behind the creation of the Nazca Lines has been the subject of much speculation and research. Early theories, particularly in the 1940s and 50s, suggested that the lines might have served as astronomical markers or calendars. Paul Kozok, an American historian, was among the first to propose that the lines had an astronomical function, noting that some of the lines aligned with the positions of the sun during the solstices. His research was expanded by Maria Reicher, a German archaeologist who dedicated her life to studying the lines. She also supported the idea that the geoglyphs had astronomical significance, believing that the Nazca people used the lines to mark celestial events, such as the movement of the stars and planets, which could have been linked to their agricultural cycles. However, not all scholars agree with the astronomical theory. Another prominent interpretation is that the Nazca Lines had a religious or ceremonial purpose. Some experts suggest that the lines were part of rituals related to water, fertility, and agriculture. The region in which the Nazca civilization lived is one of the driest places on Earth, and water would have been of utmost importance to their survival. According to this theory, the lines may have been a way for the Nazca people to communicate with their gods, particularly deities associated with rainfall and water sources. Some of the animal figures, such as birds and marine creatures, are thought to symbolize fertility or the life-sustaining power of water, while the geometric lines may have served as pathways for religious processions. More recent studies propose that the lines were not only religious, but also related to the Nazca people's shamanistic practices. Some researchers suggest that the geoglyphs may have been used as part of spiritual rituals involving hallucinogenic plants, which were known to be consumed by the Nazca. In these rituals, shamans may have perceived the world in different ways and seen the figures or patterns that were later reproduced on the desert floor. This would align with the elaborate and sometimes fantastical nature of the animal designs, which could represent the vision quests or supernatural experiences of the shamans. The fact that the lines are so large that they can only be fully seen from the air has led to more controversial theories as well. Some fringe theorists, most notably Erich von Daniken, have proposed that the Nazca Lines were created with the assistance of extraterrestrial beings or that they served as landing strips for alien spacecraft. However, these ideas are generally dismissed by the scientific community. Archaeological research in the region continues to uncover new information about the Nazca civilization and their environment. Recent studies using advanced technologies such as satellite imaging and drones have revealed new geoglyphs and helped scholars gain a better understanding of how the lines were made. Despite this, the true origin and meaning of the Nazca Lines remain one of the most captivating mysteries in archaeology, symbolizing the ingenuity and cultural depth of the ancient Nazca people, while inviting continued exploration and debate. The Amber Room is one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of World War II, often referred to as the eighth wonder of the world. Originally constructed in the early 18th century, the Amber Room was a magnificent chamber made almost entirely of amber, gold leaf and mirrors, located in the Catherine Palace near St. Petersburg, Russia. Its disappearance during the war remains one of the most famous cases of looted art, and despite extensive searches and investigations, the fate of the Amber Room is still unknown. The room was originally created in 1701 by German artisans for Frederick I of Prussia. Designed by sculptor Andreas Schluter and crafted by Gottfried Wolfram, it consisted of panels made from amber, fossilized tree resin, backed by gold and inlaid with precious stones. In 1716, Frederick's son Frederick William I gifted the Amber Room to Peter the Great of Russia, cementing an alliance between Prussia and Russia. Peter the Great, known for his love of Western art and culture, had the room installed in his palace. Over the next few decades, Russian artisans expanded and enhanced the room, integrating mirrors and mosaics until it became one of the most opulent interiors in Europe. For more than 2 centuries, the Amber Room stood as a symbol of Russian imperial luxury. However, during World War II, the room's fate took a dramatic turn. In June 1941, Nazi Germany launched Operation Barbarossa, invading the Soviet Union. By September 1941, the German army reached the outskirts of Leningrad, modern-day St. Petersburg, where the Amber Room was located. Knowing that the Nazis were systematically looting art treasures, Soviet curators attempted to protect the Amber Room by covering its panels with wallpaper in hopes of concealing it. However, their efforts were in vain. When German forces occupied the Catherine Palace in 1941, they dismantled the Amber Room in a matter of days and transported it to Königsberg Castle in East Prussia, now Kaliningrad, Russia. Once in Königsberg, the Amber Room was reassembled and displayed in the castle's museum. However, as the war began to turn against Germany and Allied forces advanced, the Nazis started evacuating or hiding valuable items. In January 1945, as Soviet troops approached Königsberg, the Amber Room was packed up for safekeeping. What happened next remains a mystery. When Soviet forces took Königsberg in April 1945, the Amber Room had vanished, and its whereabouts have remained unknown ever since. There are many theories about what happened to the Amber Room after 1945. One possibility is that it was destroyed during the Allied bombing of Königsberg. Some historians believe the room may have been hidden in a bunker beneath the castle, which was later bombed, resulting in the room's destruction by fire. However, no definitive evidence has been found to support this theory. Another theory suggests that the Nazis hid the Amber Room in a secret underground location, perhaps in one of the many tunnels and bunkers in Eastern Europe. Over the years, various expeditions have been launched to search for the room in locations such as Poland, Germany, and Russia, but none have uncovered its whereabouts. Occasionally, rumors surface that pieces of the Amber Room have been found. In 1997, a German art investigator claimed to have discovered a piece of the room's mosaic, which fueled speculation that parts of the room may still be in private collections. In 2003, another piece, a small chest of drawers that was part of the Amber Room's original furnishings, was found in Germany. However, these fragments have provided few concrete leads as to the location of the full room. The mystery of the Amber Room has inspired countless treasure hunters and conspiracy theorists. Some claim it was sunk in a ship off the coast of the Baltic Sea. Others suggest it was hidden in a mine. And more fantastical ideas include the possibility that it was smuggled to South America or remains hidden in a forgotten Nazi bunker. While none of these theories have been proven, the quest for the Amber Room continues to captivate historians, art lovers, and treasure seekers. In the absence of the original, a replica of the Amber Room was painstakingly constructed by Russian artisans and unveiled in 2003 at the Catherine Palace to celebrate the 300th anniversary of St. Petersburg. This reconstruction, based on historical photographs and descriptions, is a stunning, but the original remains an iconic symbol of lost cultural heritage. The disappearance of the Amber Room stands as one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of World War II, emblematic of the massive scale of art theft during the war and the ongoing quest to recover lost treasures. The Green Children of Woolpit is a curious medieval legend that has fascinated historians and folklorists for centuries. The story centers around two mysterious children, a boy and a girl, who were discovered near the village of Woolpit in Suffolk, England during the 12th century. The children were peculiar not only because of their appearance, but also due to the strange, otherworldly circumstances surrounding their arrival. According to the legend, the two children had green-tinted skin, wore unfamiliar clothing, and spoke an unknown language. The tale begins when villagers found the children near a wolf pit, from which Woolpit gets its name, an ancient trap used to catch wolves. They were frightened and disoriented, and their greenish skin immediately caught the attention of the local people. The children were taken to the home of Sir Richard de Calne, a local nobleman, where they were cared for. However, the children refused to eat the food provided to them, appearing confused by the sight of bread and other common fare. After several days, they began to eat raw beans, which were likely the only familiar food to them. Over time, the children gradually adapted to their new surroundings. They learned to eat other types of food, and as they did, their skin lost its green hue and returned to a normal complexion. The boy, however, became sick and died shortly after arriving in the village. The girl survived and eventually learned to speak English. When asked about their origins, the girl gave a bizarre and cryptic account. She claimed that they came from a land called St. Martin's Land, a place of eternal twilight where the sun never fully rose, and everything was bathed in a greenish glow. She described their homeland as being separated from this world by a great river and a luminous land of light. The children had been tending their father's cattle when they heard a strange sound and suddenly found themselves in the wolf pit in Woolpit, disoriented and unable to explain how they arrived there. The story of the Green Children of Woolpit has been recorded in two primary sources from the 12th century, William of Newburgh's Historia Rerum Anglicarum and Ralph of Coggeshall's Chronicon Anglicanum. Both chroniclers were reputable historians of their time, which adds a degree of credibility to the account. However, the fantastical nature of the story has led to much speculation and debate about its meaning and origins. While the story has elements of folklore, such as its association with strange, green-skinned beings, it also contains enough realistic details to have sparked serious discussion among scholars. Several theories have been proposed to explain the mystery of the Green Children. One theory suggests that the children were malnourished, which could account for their green skin, a condition known as chlorosis, or green sickness, which can occur due to a lack of iron in the diet. The children's reluctance to eat the villagers' food might have been due to unfamiliarity with English customs or foodstuffs. If they came from a remote part of England, they could have been refugees or orphans displaced by war or famine, particularly during the period of conflict between Normans and Saxons in the 12th century. Their strange clothing and language could have been regional variations unfamiliar to the local villagers. Another popular theory is that the story is an allegory for the experience of Flemish immigrants. During the time the tales supposedly took place, there were Flemish settlers in England, and some historians suggest that the Green Children may have been Flemish children who had fled persecution or violence. The description of St. Martin's Land, with its perpetual twilight and otherworldly qualities, might have been a distorted memory of their homeland, or a way of explaining their foreignness to the English-speaking villagers. Some have suggested more supernatural explanations, associating the children with folklore about fairies or otherworldly beings. In medieval folklore, green was often associated with nature spirits, fairies and magical beings, leading some to speculate that the children were not of this world at all. Their account of coming from a land with perpetual twilight could be seen as a reference to fairyland or some kind of parallel universe. The legend of the Green Children has thus been connected to a broader tradition of fairy lore in Britain, where mysterious or enchanted children often feature. Regardless of its true origins, the story of the Green Children of Woolpit has endured as one of England's most enigmatic legends. Over the centuries, it has inspired numerous interpretations in literature, history, and even science fiction. The combination of real historical elements with an air of fantasy has made it a captivating mystery, prompting questions about the nature of the children, their origins, and the cultural meaning behind the story. Whether seen as a metaphor for the strangeness of foreigners in a medieval village, or as a genuine supernatural encounter, the Green Children of Woolpit remain one of the most intriguing tales from English folklore. The Baghdad Battery is a mysterious ancient artifact that has sparked debate and speculation since its discovery in the 1930s. This artifact consists of a ceramic jar, a copper cylinder, and an iron rod, and it is believed to date back to the Parthian period, between 150 BCE and 223 CE, in what is now modern-day Iraq. Found near Baghdad, the artifact has been dubbed the Baghdad Battery, due to its uncanny resemblance to a primitive electrical battery. Its purpose, however, remains uncertain, and scholars have debated whether it truly functioned as a source of electricity or served some other more mundane function. The Baghdad Battery was discovered in 1936 by German archaeologist Wilhelm Koenig, who was conducting excavations in the area around Kujut Rabu, near Baghdad. Koenig later speculated that the artifact could have been an ancient galvanic cell capable of generating small amounts of electricity. The jar is roughly 6 inches tall and contains a copper cylinder made from a rolled sheet of copper. The copper cylinder is held in place by asphalt, and inside the cylinder is an iron rod also insulated with asphalt. When filled with an acidic liquid like vinegar or lemon juice, the jar could theoretically produce a small electrical charge, as the interaction between the copper, iron, and acid would create a weak electrochemical reaction. Koenig's theory gained widespread attention, particularly because it suggested that the ancients may have had knowledge of electricity long before its documented discovery. If the Baghdad Battery was indeed used to generate electricity, it would be an astonishing example of ancient technological advancement. Some theorists have proposed that the battery could have been used for electroplating, coating objects in a thin layer of metal, suggesting that the Parthians may have used electricity to gild small items or create other metallic finishes. Despite these intriguing possibilities, many experts are skeptical of the Baghdad Battery's use as an electrical device. Critics argue that there is no definitive evidence that the battery was used for electroplating or any other electrical purpose. They point out that the object may have had a different, non-electrical function entirely. Some scholars believe that the jar may have been used for storage, perhaps to hold sacred scrolls or religious artifacts. Others suggest that it could have been used for medical or therapeutic purposes, such as producing mild electric shocks for healing, though no direct evidence supports these claims. Another possibility is that the Baghdad Battery had a symbolic or ritualistic function rather than a practical one. The Parthians, like many ancient cultures, were skilled in metalworking and chemistry, and it's possible they created this device without fully understanding its potential for electricity. Some researchers believe that the artifact may have been used in religious ceremonies or as part of magical practices, where the mysterious energy generated by the battery would have been perceived as divine or supernatural. In the absence of more definitive evidence, the true purpose of the Baghdad Battery remains a mystery. Despite extensive studies and reconstructions, including experiments by modern scientists who have replicated the jar's design to generate small electrical currents, no one can say for certain how the original device was used, or even if it was intended to produce electricity at all. The Baghdad Battery continues to be a source of fascination, particularly for those interested in ancient technology and alternative histories. It has inspired a wide range of theories, some of which are far more speculative than others. Certain fringe theorists have suggested that the battery is evidence of lost or forgotten technologies, implying that ancient civilizations possessed far more advanced knowledge than we typically attribute to them. This has led to connections with broader ideas of ancient astronauts or high-tech prehistory, though such interpretations lack strong archaeological support. Overall, the Baghdad Battery remains an enigmatic artifact, raising questions about the technological capabilities of ancient peoples and the limits of our understanding of their knowledge. Whether it was used as a battery, for religious rituals, or something else entirely, the Baghdad Battery stands as a reminder of the complexity of ancient cultures and the intriguing mysteries that continue to surround them. The Max Headroom broadcast intrusion is one of the most notorious and mysterious cases of television signal hijacking in history. It occurred on November 22, 1987, in Chicago, Illinois, when an unidentified person managed to interrupt the broadcasts of two television stations, WGN-TV and WTTW, with a bizarre video featuring a person wearing a mask of the popular 1980s character, Max Headroom. The incident remains unsolved to this day, leaving behind a legend of one of the most surreal and unsettling moments in television history. The first intrusion took place during WGN-TV's 9 p.m. sportscast. While sports anchor Dan Roan was delivering highlights of a Chicago Bears game, the screen suddenly flickered and was replaced by a person wearing a Max Headroom mask, standing in front of a background mimicking the computer-generated graphics that were iconic to the character. The image lasted for about 30 seconds, with no sound, before WGN engineers were able to regain control of the signal. Roan appeared on camera visibly confused but continued with the broadcast, calling the interruption a little short in the signal. However, the hijacker wasn't finished. About 2 hours later, during a broadcast of the Doctor Who episode, Horror of Fang Rock on WTTW, the PBS affiliate in Chicago, the Max Headroom hacker struck again. This time, the hijacking lasted longer, about 90 seconds, and included both video and sound. The masked figure bobbed and swayed erratically while speaking in distorted, nonsensical phrases. The transmission was chaotic, with odd references to WGN, the sportscaster, and even Coke. Max Headroom was famously associated with Coca-Cola commercials. At one point, the person behind the mask pulled down their pants and was spanked with a fly swatter by someone off camera. This strange and unsettling broadcast came to an end when WTTW engineers regained control of the signal. The character Max Headroom was a popular fictional persona in the mid-1980s, created as a computer-generated artificial intelligence with a stuttering, glitchy personality. First introduced in 1985 on British television, Max Headroom later became a cultural icon in the United States, appearing in commercials for Coca-Cola and starring in his own short-lived TV series. The character's futuristic, dystopian look, combined with his trademark stuttering speech, made him a symbol of the emerging digital and media age. It was this striking imagery that the broadcast intruder used to create a visually unsettling experience. The fact that someone could hijack the airwaves of two major television stations raised serious concerns about the vulnerability of broadcast systems at the time. The FCC, the Federal Communications Commission, and the FBI both launched investigations into the incident, but despite their efforts, the identity of the hijacker was never discovered. The technical difficulty of such a feat suggested that the perpetrator had a sophisticated understanding of broadcasting technology. At the time, analog television signals could be intercepted by broadcasting a stronger signal over the same frequency, but it was not something easily accomplished without the right equipment and expertise. The motivation behind the Max Headroom broadcast intrusion has remained as mysterious as the identity of the hacker. The video was filled with cryptic, nonsensical references and contained no overt political message or agenda, which has led to various interpretations over the years. Some have speculated that it was simply a prank pulled off by someone who wanted to challenge the system, proving that even the most secure broadcasts could be disrupted. Others view the hijack as a form of anti-establishment art, reflecting the punk or hacker ethos of the 1980s, where subverting media and authority was seen as a form of rebellion. Despite the lack of any apparent message, the incident became a cultural touchstone. The eerie, distorted image of the masked figure, along with the bizarre content of the broadcast, has been the subject of countless discussions, documentaries, and online theories. The Max Headroom intrusion has taken on an almost mythic status in internet culture, referenced in everything from YouTube videos to episodes of popular TV shows like Mr. Robot, which explore themes of hacking and media manipulation. To this day, no one has been officially caught or charged for the hijacking, and it remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in the history of broadcasting. The anonymity of the perpetrator, coupled with the strange and unsettling nature of the broadcast itself, has ensured that the Max Headroom incident continues to captivate and intrigue. It serves as a reminder of the fragile nature of media systems, the potential for disruption, and the enduring mystery of who was behind one of the most bizarre moments in television history.
Thank you for joining us on this exploration of the unexplained. We hope these mysteries have sparked your curiosity and encouraged you to delve deeper into the unknown. Until next time, stay curious, stay vigilant, and never stop seeking the truth.